This was once a T-Rex, but much like Jurassic Park predicted, she evolved into a T-Bird and is now a T-Bird. So I don't know what the next stage of evolution will be. But if you guys haven't subbed to T-Bird, check her out because she's got a wonderful Australian accent. She's an awesome artist and she's got great videos just about what she's reading and comic books in general, which I've really enjoyed so far. So definitely check her out. She's a pretty active member of the community, really passionate, and her videos are nice to watch because she's an artist and she comes from that background. She just appreciates things that I don't. I'm more of a writer-focused reader, so I don't appreciate the art as much as maybe an artist would. So definitely nice to hear her perspectives on those kind of things, but worth checking out, so definitely subscribe to her. Now, her contest is basically she's going to be giving away some sweet original art. I've seen her own art on Twitter, and it's really good, but she wants to give away her partner's art instead. But she wants us to request something for her partner to make for us. So I said as a comment in joking that I wanted Paul Hogan. But in serious, I don't know what I would want. Maybe like my family as like Batman villains or something. Batman getting hit in the balls by Spider-Man or something crazy like that. I don't know. Something awesome. That would be great. Okay, now she also wanted to know our favorite artists and writers and titles, which is really hard because I like everything and I'm not a big favorite guy because I like so much, and I can see there's stuff like Mark Miller does that I think is incredible, but other stuff I think is shit. So it's hard to sort of pick, but I'll go through some stuff real quick here. So I got sort of my long box trunk thing open with some stuff. This is Invincible Volume 1, which is a series I've read since the beginning, and I really, really love it. It's a Robert Kirkman story. Predates Walking Dead. I've said before, I think it's better than Walking Dead. The way it starts out, it really doesn't take itself seriously. It's really light and sort of fluffy and silly. And then it sort of builds on that as it goes and gets pretty heavy and pretty dark. And he goes through some serious things. So I think it's a good way to do it because they're sort of more DC-style heroes. You can see on the cover, if you don't know, he's sort of like Superman is his powers. But so when you have a story like that, you can't take it too seriously. Like if you try to write a story that takes itself too seriously, it just comes off ridiculous, which is what I find with a lot of the DC stuff. It should be fun and a little bit light, and there often are moments like that in this series. So definitely recommend that. I don't know if I really like it because I've read it from the beginning. I don't know if because there's not a lot of people who read it now, so I don't know if it's just a hard one to jump on late. But find the early trades if you can. Like this one I got at a used bookstore for $10. But because it's a really great series, especially if you read sort of the first 50 issues. This here is just a local company made this, but this is to show off Fiona Staples' cover. This is like early Fiona Staples stuff. She does Saga, and is her biggest series, and has a bunch of cool variants and stuff out there. But she sort of does this watercolor painting style, and I really like her. So I'll throw her out there. What else? I got some pulps up here, and Afterlife with Archie's an awesome series. Alright, so here's where I kind of put most of my weekly titles in this long box. And I'll go through some of them and some of the stuff I really like. So I had all the Turtles from the beginning, and I got kind of tired of it and sold them off, but I kept these. This is a guy named Mateus Santaluco who did the art on this, and I think he's back on Turtles now. But like that's an incredible cover. So I kept this. This was his first work on Turtles. It was just a mini series. But I really like this series. So I got that. What's this? Just some other mini random old stuff. Saga, obviously, awesome series. Been loving it since the beginning. They're always very character focused, which I find I like Y the Last Man, but it moves kind of slowly for me. And this series at times moves slowly for me as well, but the world is so vibrant and interesting and weird that like it doesn't bother me. But yeah, just some beautiful covers, beautiful art inside, and great story. Really interesting cast of characters. Does a pretty incredible job at just telling a story about real people in a really surreal world, if that makes sense. And it deals with real issues like family and life and love and hate and power and anything you think of, really. Deadpool is a series I was getting for a long time. A lot of fun. It was my first sort of foray into Deadpool stuff, and I really like this series. It was too... I didn't want to spend $3.99 twice a month for it, so when I went bi-monthly, I dropped it eventually. This story in particular, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, it was a really, really good story. It's sort of a team-up with Captain America and Wolverine. And they go to South Korea investigating the potential... Like, he finds out that he has a child, and the mother of the child and the child itself was kind of kidnapped, and so they're going investigating that. And it's kind of a little more serious of a tone for Deadpool, and explores some heavier stuff with him, but really good. What else? Yeah, so this series, like, it's good. I enjoyed it. This was a $10 issue, which is not worth $10. But it's also a world record, as you can see, record holder. It has more characters on the cover than any other cover ever, apparently. That's just some random. This one was pretty good too. I bought this. This is following the Death of the Wolverine because it's that same team, sort of following the good and the bad and the ugly. What else? Daredevil's probably my favorite series, ongoing series right now. I don't know. It's hard to say. I have the whole run of Mark Waid's run. I think Mark Waid is just an insanely good writer, especially with Daredevil. He just gets them and he knows how to plot a story. Great characters, great villains. And like, I read old Daredevil stuff, it's really depressing. And he's always such a friggin' downer. And some people like that, the more brooding, gloomy characters, especially with Marvel. I guess they don't have too many of those. But for me, like, this series is just the one. It's so good. This was like, this character's the Spot, but he gets his powers get taken over by another guy who's just an insane psycho. And what he does with the powers are the most messed up things you've ever heard. But Mark Waid's Daredevil run is just, it's got to be going down in history. I bought this whole run because I got on it pretty late, but I bought the whole run for like $1 an issue or something. So you can get it cheap, and it's definitely worth it. Batman. I've had this since the beginning of the New 52. Scott Snyder and stuff. Death in the Family. A lot of people, or Death of the Family. A lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was really good. It just didn't have time to sort of show the impact of what happened, which takes away a bit from the story. But I thought it was decent, except for, yeah, the ending was, it had its issues. I won't spoil if you haven't read it, but 0 Year. I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty good. A lot of people hated it. And then now we're into, this was awesome too. It was a free issue for the 75th anniversary. Detective Comics 27. Really cool couple stories in there, retelling of his origin. Talking about the future Batman, which is really interesting as well. And, yeah. What else am I reading? Batman and Robin, old Marvel team-ups. Okay, so these are a bunch of the indie books I get. Five Ghosts hasn't come out for a while. That's a pretty good series. It sort of has this pulp feel. Afterlife with Archie is great. Black Science with Rick Remender. Anything Rick Remender does these days is just super good. Mateus Galera on that. Manifest Destiny is an awesome book. I'm just rambling. Jonathan Hickman does East of West. I love that there's all these big-time sort of experienced writers who know what they're doing, making their own indie titles now. Because you get a really good story and stuff that's totally unique without getting these, like, there's a lot of guys out there with really good ideas that aren't great. They haven't refined their writing well enough that the stories are that good. So it's nice when you have those more established guys. Maximum Carnage run. Fade Out's okay. Oh yeah, I gotta talk about Ed Brubaker though. I learned about Ed Brubaker. I think the first stuff I read was his Gotham Central series, which is incredible. You gotta check that one out if you haven't read Gotham Central. sort of all but the Batman, the cops in Gotham, and Batman's really in the background, but he's there, and it's really deals more with how they deal with the villains and everything, and just how they react to having Batman in their city, sort of doing his job for him. It's just a really well written series. That's a Brubaker one. Copperhead's been pretty good. This Roach Limit was okay. Here's some of my trades. Superman Batman is terrible. Stan Lee Volume 1 Spider-Man, really good. Classic Spidey stuff. Got the Mark Waid Daredevil. That's really good. Wolverine. This Death Match is Paul Jenkins is the writer, and I really like Paul Jenkins. It seems like such a ridiculous idea, and it looks really bad, I think. I don't know. I think the title's pretty bad, but the series is actually really good. The ending is almost perfect, and then they kind of take it a step too far, and it falls apart. But the series is actually really good. It has all these sort of archetypes of character, of like different superhero characters, all battling in these arenas for some reason, and it's a big mystery as to how they all got trapped there and why they're fighting, because they're all friends. So yeah, really good series. Love Alan Moore. Watchmen was my first graphic novel I ever read, and I love it. I still love it. V for Vendetta. His Swamp Thing run, from what I've read, is really good. I've just read a few issues. Yeah, what else? I got more Death Match over there. More Brian K. Vaughan with Pride of Baghdad, really good. This Jeff Johns Batman Earth 1, I would definitely recommend. Yeah. Oh, and Peter Panzerfaust, if you're not reading that, it's like Peter Pan in World War II. And really good. Interesting action-adventure sort of story. Makes World War II fun, which is probably not a good thing, but it is a good read. So, yeah, those are some of the books I like and some of the artists and writers I like. Hopefully that answers most of your questions. Oh, my favorite 80s movie? Probably Back to the Future or Empire Strikes Back or Breakfast Club. Was Ninja Turtles 80s? I think that was 1990. Yeah, okay, well, congratulations on the subs, and good luck, everybody, in the contest. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.